Welcome everyone, we're Vibha Fitness and this is our brand new YouTube channel. In this video we're going to talk about the basics of weight training and some of the things we would have liked to have known when we started to train. Firstly, weight training is a good way of keeping fat off your body, as increasing muscle mass will increase your base metabolism. Also, it will add to your athletic appearance overall. Another thing we'd like to add is that weightlifting, it's not exclusive to men. A lot of women think that touching a dumbbell is going to make them look like Arnold, when realistically it's going to make you look more like Wonder Woman. So let's now jump into the weightlifting portion of the video, which is the primary focus today. And we believe there's 4 crucial lifts when it comes to weight training: the bench press, the squat, deadlift, and overhead press, which is also known as shoulder press. And these are your compound movements because they use more than one muscle group at once. And it's particularly effective for strength, mass, whatever you're looking to train, because you are just training more than one muscle group at once. So the first exercise that we're going to look at is the squat. And this uses your legs, your glutes, and your abs, yeah. So, you know, best exercise to start with on leg day. And yeah, sorry, you do have to train legs. So there's 2 types of squats. There's high bar squat and a low bar squat. And for today, we're just going to look at high bar squats, which is when you rest the bar on your traps, which is the muscle here. So you rest the bar here and just perform the squat. So this is an example of squats. So if we pause at the bottom, we can analyze the form. Firstly, make sure you keep your weight on your heels so you can properly engage your muscles and also stop you from falling over. In terms of the depth, make sure you squat to at least parallel, because this is the most effective way to train all your leg muscles, and also it will prevent injury as well. It's a popular belief that your knees aren't allowed to come beyond your toes, but this is not true. Bringing your toes forward can help to execute the lift properly. Always remember to keep your back tensed as well as your core, as this will increase stability, help balance, and keep the weight correctly distributed. Finally, remember to keep your head up throughout the lift, as this will help with balance and allow you to power up through the movement. And from the bottom of the squat, power up to extend your legs and tense your glutes. So next up is the favourite lift for both of us, deadlift. We love this because it's just about how much weight you can move, you know, just pick up, and the ultimate strength builder. And there's just something really, really satisfying about this lift.
When you get the form right though.
Yeah, so that's the thing. The form for deadlift is probably the most difficult out of all of these, just because it is the most unnatural and difficult movement to master, especially for the untrained weightlifter. But you've got to remember that you're not the only person struggling with this. Everyone struggles with it. We struggled with the form. But once you get it right, you'll be smashing heavy weights, gaining loads of strength. And you know, we just think it's the best strength builder that there is. Just like with squats, there are 2 deadlifts: the sumo deadlift and the conventional deadlift. Today we're going to talk about conventional. We prefer it, and that's just it. We just prefer it. So if you see other people doing it differently, they're not doing it wrong, they're just doing the different version.
Just the way we do it.
Yeah. Another great thing about the deadlift is that when someone's like, "Oh, how much do you lift?" Yeah. Hey bro, how much do you lift?
Should be your highest number.
Yeah, it should be your highest number. That's the one you want to use, because bench, squat, it's good. Deadlift is just a lot stronger. So let's now jump into analysis of it. So let's now look at the deadlift and pause it at the beginning of the movement. So this is just about as you're starting the lift. The first thing to note here is that you want to keep the bar as close to your body as possible and pull the bar up along your legs to ensure maximum power and back engagement. The next thing is to keep your back tense throughout the movement. This is both for safety and for power. You want to keep your core and your back tense the whole time.
You just like with the squat, you want to keep your weight on your heels to allow for proper weight distribution, maximum power, and balance. And finally, keep your head up, again, like the squat, to stop your back from rounding during the movement and to allow for maximum power. And just as we said, you power up through a movement. And if we take a different angle here and pause it at the top of the movement, you can see that you should tense your glutes. And this is to take the load off your lower back. So it's both for power and an injury prevention. So once you've finished the movement, set the bar down safely and you're done.
The next lift we're going to look at is the bench press, which is probably the most popular lift out of all of them. And this should be your primary chest builder, but also it works your shoulders and your triceps as well.
And your core.
And your core, so it's a full like upper body kind of workout.
Everything's
so
back.
It's a good exercise.
So if we look at the setup of the bench press, firstly, we'd suggest to plant your feet to engage the most amount of leg drive. Arching your back will help to take the weight properly onto your chest instead of overstraining your shoulders. And to do this, dig your shoulder blades into the bench. Make sure you control the weight down and power up. And pausing the movement at the bottom, you can see that using your planted feet will help you to drive the movement. And also it's important to keep your bum on the bench throughout the movement. So make sure your bum is always touching the bench. And finally, power the bar up in explosive movement, and remembering to exhale as you drive up for the maximum amount of force. We'll have a look at a few reps here. Looking at this from another angle, it's important to make sure that your wrists are always kept straight, as your wrists rolling back can cause wrist injuries. And also, remember to keep your elbows tucked in, preferably inside of your grip, as this will generate the most amount of power.
Finally, we come on to probably the most ignored lift of the four. It's the overhead press, bench press, shoulder press, whatever you want to call it. You basically just explode up from the shoulders, and because you're standing up and you're lifting straight above your head, it engages a lot of your core. So you will be building your abs when you do this as well. And for us, it's the best shoulder power, size, definition, whatever you want to do. It's the best for that, and especially for your front delts, there probably isn't a better workout.
So if we take the movement right at the start, just as a setup, you'll see that you want to keep your lower body as stable as possible. You can do this by tensing your glutes, your core, and keep your legs still. And then as you do this, power the bar up with as much force from your shoulders as you can while keeping your lower body still. And we'll see a few examples of this. Power the bar up and control it back down onto your shoulders. If we look at the side angle here and take the bar as it finishes at the top, you want to take the direction of the lift directly above your head so that you're loading your front delts more than anything else. The other thing to note here is that you don't want to brace your elbows. Don't fully extend them because this can be an injury risk with heavier weights. Let's now look at a few reps to see how it's properly executed.
As all of these lifts are big strength builders, we'd recommend to keep the rep range quite low, like under 8 reps, say. For a beginner, the optimum would be around 6 reps.
Yeah, 6 reps.
And in terms of, the weight should be heavy for you. So the 6th rep shouldn't be an easy rep. So if it's too easy for you in the 6th rep, that means the weight is too light. So
if it's too light, then you're most likely not making as efficient gains as you would be if you're using the correct weight. So don't be afraid to push yourself. Not too hard, but make it difficult.
And in terms of sets, we'd say 3 to 5 sets is a good number. Like, you don't want to go too low or too high, and 3 to 5 is a good number.
Yeah, the majority of the building that you're doing will be done in those first 3 sets, but doing a couple more, getting up to 5 sets will help you practice the movement because you are new to this. So, it's recommended.
And in terms of isolation movements, which are movements which target like a specific muscle area. For example, with deadlift, there's a variation called a stiff leg deadlift or a Romanian deadlift, which just targets the hamstrings. And although these are like a vital part of a workout,
it's very effective.
For a beginner, it might not be the best idea.
No, simply because you haven't mastered the basic lifts. So to perform isolation versions of this is just going to be too difficult, and you're going to end up wasting your time essentially. And also, to have enough strength to target these areas with weight, you're going to need to build your strength up using the 4 exercises that we've highlighted.
So like you want to master the compound before trying the isolation movements.
Yeah. So just before we wrap up, let's touch briefly on how we'd recommend you fit these lifts into your workout. So we have 4 compound lifts, and obviously it all depends on how many days you're going to train. If you're training 4 days a week, you do 1 on each day. So if you're training legs for the first day, you do squats, throw in leg press,
leg extensions.
Yeah, and then next day you're doing chest. So start with bench press. The 3rd day, do deadlift because you want to keep it as far away from squat as possible because they both target your legs. But on this day, do back. So do deadlifts, then rows.
Pull downs,
On the last day, shoulder press, train shoulders. Shoulders isn't as taxing a workout as the others, so if you're doing 4 days, throw arms in with this, few bicep curls, tricep extensions, whatever you want to do. If you're going to train 5 days a week, you can separate this and do shoulders and arms another day. Stick cardio on the end of that. Cardio, recommend doing cardio, even if you're not looking to lose weight. It's good for overall fitness, but especially if you're looking to lose weight. You can't outrun a bad diet, and we'll talk about this in another video, but cardio goes a long way towards solving this. So 3-day plan, similar, do legs, exactly the same as we just said, but you can do a push and a pull day instead of the other 3. So push day, you combine chest and shoulders, throw triceps in as well. Pull day, you do back, deadlifts, and biceps.
You could also do a 2-day split as well. Yeah. If you put legs with back and biceps and do squats and deadlifts on the same day, and then a push day for the other day. And squats and deadlifts on the same day isn't like it's hard, but we've been doing it.
Yeah, so Harish and I have been doing squats and deadlifts on the same day for the last couple of months, and it's difficult. And we'd recommend starting with squats because deadlift is the more taxing workout, but it's doable. And if you've only got 2 days, go ahead and do it. Again, if you only have 1 day, doing all 4 on 1 day is better than not doing it at all. But it's going to be taxing, it's going to be difficult, and it's not going to be the most efficient use of your time. So we'd recommend not going less than 2 days a week.
But it's still better than not going at all. So
yeah. So that's everything. And if you want to see more content right now, head over to our Instagram page. And if there's anything you want to see in future videos or any questions you have, don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks for watching. Hope we'll see you next time. Yeah, there's nothing you can do for us.
That's it.